You need to think when you're posting, what is a viewer going to get out of this? When I wasn't taking it seriously, I would just post things for the hell of it and they wouldn't really do really well. And I'd be like, why am I posting this photo? Okay, because when you post things at strategic times, the algorithm picks it up. For example, if you are...
What came first? Content creation or your cosplay?
Cosplay. Yeah, I started cosplaying because I saw other. Okay, most of what I'm gonna like my journey is me seeing people do something. I'm like, that looks cool. I'm gonna do it. So I saw other people cosplaying, and I was like, this dude's really fun. I don't know how to sew though, and so I taught myself how to sew. I got into that in 2018, starting with Misato from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yep.
And it started off just as like a chill hobby, and it still is like my creative outlet and something I love. And then in 2020 I had a few friends that were streaming and I had the same thing and I was like, that looks like so much fun, I want to do that. And so I did, and I started, and it was wild. First off the bat, I was like, this is so much fun, like I love this, like I'm very extroverted and I love talking to people.
Yep.
And
Love
I've got a
I love a
very...
yap. I guess
Yeah,
yap you could say.
I've got a very like intense, loud personality that
Yep.
I guess works for the online space. In person, I can
Yeah.
be a bit intense, but online, it seems to be the right amount for people, I guess.
Yep.
And there was only like a year, I guess, like a year after streaming, that I started to be more of a content creator. Whereas previously, it was like I was doing cosplay and I was doing streaming, but it was just more like casually. Like I wasn't really taking it seriously. I was like, oh, I'm just doing this because it looks like something fun to do, and I just want to have fun with it. But then after a few years of doing both of those, I was like, oh, like I can take this seriously and I can get some really cool experiences
Yep.
out of this. And I have, and I've had many pleasures from, being a creator at events, from working with like really cool brands, getting affiliated with brands, and getting to do really cool stuff, go to movie premieres, go to store openings, stuff like that, which just comes from me making silly costumes and screaming at a camera.
Well, it's combining two things that you really love doing. It's like
Yeah.
cosplay and gaming, and I guess in a sense, it's almost like a perfect combination, really,
Yeah,
because
well, they mold together really nicely because I cosplay the characters from the games that I stream. So people come to me in a stream and they see me play Final Fantasy, and then they see me cosplay Final Fantasy characters. And so it
ah,
all kind of blends in
ties
nicely
together.
together. Okay, cool.
So, if you were to start cosplay and content creation again, what would you do differently?
I only started really sharing my like well, I'll start with cosplay first. I didn't really start sharing my like work in progress stuff consistently until recently, where like I started filming the whole process. And I wish I did, because like I have some photos of my previous cosplays, but I don't have like a lot of stuff to show for it. I'm like, no, I want to see how like I made this. Like
Yep.
I want to be able to show that. So I wish I had like show myself. It's just cool to look back on, like for any type of art you're creating, just to kind
Yeah.
of like record the process of it, because you can share it with people. Like people will, comment on and share my videos and be like, oh my gosh, like I was figuring out how to make a petticoat, and like now you've literally shown a tutorial how to do that. Like it's
Yep.
kind of sharing the wealth. And in terms of content creation, that's a really good question. um
I guess it's one and the same though, because your cosplay stuff is still technically content
Still
creation.
content, still technically content
Yeah.
creation. I guess I just start taking it seriously quicker. I'll just kind of do it very
was
casually, not really thinking much about it,
is
but I
that
think about...
was that
Yeah.
more of a confidence thing and like just in
No,
what
I
you
mean, I
think you
just did
can
it for
do, or
fun. Like, I wasn't thinking
yeah.
like, like what's smart for growth, what's smart in the algorithm, like what,
Mm.
like thinking like I have more of like a business mindset when it comes to content now.
Yeah.
But I didn't back then, obviously, because again, I was just like, oh, this is something I'm trying out for fun, and if I don't enjoy doing it, then like I'll stop.
Yep.
But now it's like I enjoy doing it, so like I do want to make like, and I'm making something
Yep.
more out of it. So yeah.
Are you so you mentioned that you're wanting to make it a bit more like a well, you're having a bit more of a business approach or a bit more of a strategic
Yeah.
approach. What are you doing to make sure you don't lose the fun in it? By because
Yeah. So I so I have my passion for like cosplay and streaming and content creation, and then I have my other passion for science, which is my day job. So like I get a break from both passions all the
Yeah.
time. Like I do my science girly job during the day, and I'm not thinking about my costumes, I'm not thinking about streaming, I'm not thinking about my Instagram posts for the week. And then I come home and then I switch modes.
Mm,
So I'm always tackling my two jobs in a
yeah.
fresh mind, and I can't get fatigued from it because I get a break every day from both of them.
Mm. See, I kind of wish I could do that myself because
Yeah,
I work in marketing, so
unfortunately, it's
I do
it
it on a daily, and then like I'm always thinking about how I can
and that can still
improve.
be a beautiful thing. It's not like a total like horrible thing. There's pros and cons to both of them. It
Yeah.
means I'm like less involved in my industry because my day job isn't involved in the gaming industry. It isn't involved in the cosplay convention industry. It's completely separate. So
Mm,
I don't there's no way what I do in my day job, because I work in a research lab,
yeah.
is going to help me grow as a streamer. Like I share silly science facts and I incorporate it a little bit, but like it's different to you working in marketing, and like the people you network in your marketing job, if you work in industry, can actually help you grow your content creation journey. So like there's pros and cons to
Yeah.
it.
I've done the unthinkable. I've interrupted the video. And I'm sorry, but there is a good reason. And that reason is to ask you, if you have been enjoying this video, to give it a thumbs up. Because as you know, it does help the video out and help the channel. And if you want to see more content by me and more interviews with amazing creators, subscribe to the Creator Dashboard. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Okay, so in your content creation, so what channels are you relevant, like present in the most?
So I'm on Twitch and I stream there about 4 nights a week, and that's really just me playing my RPG games and mostly Final Fantasy. And then I'm also on Instagram. That's a lot of my cosplay content. I don't really share a lot of streaming content on there because I kind of just have them like a little bit separated, even though they kind of mold into each other, because like I cosplay characters from the games that I stream on Twitch. So I post on Instagram very regularly. I post on TikTok, which is a mix of cosplay and streaming content and just like silly meme content. Like I make a
Yeah.
lot of like silly jokes, like
Well,
he
you
beat.
can get away with quite a bit on
Well,
TikTok because it's.
I mean, not like that. I mean, I just kind of like it's very so. Okay, I take Twitch and Instagram really seriously. Like
Yeah.
and we can go through this. I have a content planner that I plan out my content like a week in advance and like have all my posts planned, so I have everything like constant because the algorithm loves consistency.
It does,
So
yeah.
Instagram and Twitch I take very seriously. TikTok I take less seriously, but I'm still consistent on that. I have a lot of fun with it. Twitter is just networking and shit posting. That's the two things that I do there because I've gotten so many opportunities from yelling on Twitter. Like, Twitter is the quickest way to make mutuals with game developers and people that work in marketing for game companies and
Yeah,
really get your name out there. The amount of times, like, you don't really see a lot of opportunities advertised on Instagram and TikTok or Twitch. Like, usually it's
yeah,
Twitter where they're like, oh, call out for League of Legends cosplayers for an
yep.
opportunity, or looking for people who want to work with monitors, work with a specific brand that's looking for people to review their monitors. Like that's all done
In Twitter.
on Twitter.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's
yeah.
they can't communicate that on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, I've
It's pretty much
seen
the best
like
platform for it.
it's the best platform of it. So yeah, those are the four platforms you can
So,
find
and I
me
guess
on.
so you use your platforms quite strategically depending on
Yes.
the content you're producing
Yeah.
and where you're aiming it for. And I'd imagine Instagram's like a big one for you being
Yeah.
the cosplay side of it, and that's
Yeah.
probably the core. So I guess if you're someone that wants to get into cosplay content creation,
Yeah.
Instagram's a big one. Do you do reels
In
or
Yeah. Oh my
images?
gosh, do reels. Oh my goodness, do reels. Please do reels. Reels perform so well. So I've actually gone through the stats for my Instagram, and I go through them pretty regularly. If you're a creator, you should be looking at your statistics. You should also be looking at what your page looks like all the time. Like
Yeah,
you should open up your Instagram feed, like your page, you should see what it looks like. Because when someone comes to your page, whether it's a potential community member or it's a potential brand to work with, you need to know exactly what it looks like. If your feed does not look good, if you have things that you don't want, that take them off. you need to be looking at your content from an outside perspective all the time. You also need to be looking at your insights. So I've looked at my insights and I found that my photo posts
Yep.
get seen and interacted with by people who follow me, but my reels get seen by people who don't follow me. Like reels
Oh,
can
that's
still get
good.
seen by your followers, but like
Yeah.
essentially what's categorized as the reach is
Yep.
so much higher on reels than it is on carousel posts. So essentially my photos are mostly just for my followers for them to say this is cool, but my reels is targeted to bring new people in because I know it's new eyes that are going to be on that content. So if you're looking to like you maintain your following with photo posts on Instagram, but you grow your
Yep.
following with reels posts.
That's interesting. So I was actually in the interview I had with 8-Bit Elliot. He was
Yeah,
saying that he just couldn't understand
Elliot.
Instagram, and that's probably like the best answer I've had, or the
Yeah.
best, even just like in the content and marketing training that I've been doing. It that's like more insightful than anything I've read. So
Oh
Reels
yay.
Reels is like for new reach, and I think that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense because Reels is like the where everyone is constantly scrolling to
Well,
find new
yeah,
stuff.
of
It's
course. Like you accidentally click on the tab, I do all the time. And it's like never a reel by someone you follow. It's always a random other person.
mm,
So yeah, that's I find when I make photo posts, I don't get a lot of followers, but when I get reels posts, that's when most of my following comes in.
your
Like
followers come
like
from.
new followers. Yeah.
So I guess Instagram, and this makes a lot of sense because Instagram obviously last year or the year before they brought in Reels to compete with TikTok, and
Yeah.
so they would have made the shift in the algorithm to make people
Yes.
do more
So
real content.
if this is something you need to be, and this is every social media account, if a social media company brand, I can't think right now, if a social media website app whatever, if they bring out a new feature, use it because they are going to push that feature.
Yep, yep,
You need to use it immediately. So
yep,
people that were on Reels straight away immediately got pushed out to the algorithm. Even if you think it's a dumb feature, like I used Threads, even though I was like, I already have Twitter, but I was like,
yeah.
I know Instagram is going to be pushing this. So yeah, always take advantage of new features because they will reward you in the algorithm if you do.
Yeah. Well, it makes total sense, and I guess it lines up with the thought process of leaning into these new ideas when things come up, and it's so hard, and a lot of
Yeah,
people get so upset and so like like just like put the wall up whenever there's a new thing. Like
I know. I know. I could get the same. So like I
yeah,
get it.
everyone gets the same, and like it's not a massive issue, but like you've got to just kind of let it go and just kind of like lean into it because that's when the big things happen. So like if Threads took off and you were one of the first people on Threads,
Exactly.
you would be having the following. Like it's the same with every single platform. So
Yeah.
like I know we've talked about this already on the like in the zombies episode, but it's that
Yeah.
important. So it's a very good thing. So coming back to cosplay, so
Yeah.
obviously, and I when I used to use TikTok a lot, there's a lot of TikTok content on cosplay, and I'm
Yes.
guessing it's the content's very similar between TikTok and Reels. I'd imagine.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
very very similar. I mean, TikTok again. TikTok is a bit sillier. I'm going to be so real
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah.
TikTok
Yeah.
is a bit more like shitposty than
Yep.
Instagram. So you'll see a bit more, and this isn't like a negative way because I make most
Yeah.
both types of content, but like Instagram Reels are just like a little bit more polished.
Yep.
Whether TikTok is using like the dumbest sound bites you've ever found, like the silly videos I make on TikTok, I mostly won't put on Instagram because they don't really perform as well. Whereas
Okay.
Instagram
Interesting.
is where I put, my silly, like my work in progress videos
So
that,
if you were to divide your content up into like into a content mix, what
content
what
pillars.
yeah, pillars? What's your content pillars?
Okay, cool. So, education through my work in progress videos. Um, there's a few realms for entertainment. Entertainment through my convention vlogs, and that also kind of counts as marketing. Marketing as well for any like unboxing videos and like brand
Yep.
stuff that
Yep.
I do. And then I share my cosplay photos as well, and more entertainment through my streams. But mostly it's mostly the main things that I guess people come to me for.
Yeah.
Top one is work in progress videos. Those perform the best on
Okay.
both TikTok and Instagram. Those are like the ones people are like, oh, I'm like, thank you so much. They're the hardest to make because I have
Yeah.
to stop every 2 seconds of me sewing to record a silly little video and then edit it later and do a voiceover. And it's a whole thing. It takes hours. Like
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
videos are 1 to 2 minutes. There's hours of editing.
Yeah. I know.
My work in progress videos, my convention vlogs,
Yep.
um, my cosplay photos, so photos I get done like professionally,
Yep.
and my Twitch streams, so me playing the games of the characters of which I cosplay from.
Hmm. That's good, and it's so interesting, like to hear like your you've broken this down, like, and you've got like your pillars, and you've thought that all the way through. There's not many creators that I've spoken to who have actually broken down their content into pillars.
You need to
Um,
think when you're posting, like, what is a viewer going to get out of this?
mm,
Like, when I wasn't taking it seriously, I would just post things for the hell of it, and they wouldn't really do really well.
mm,
And I'd be like, why am I posting this photo? Like, okay, is it the anniversary of a game coming out? Is a game about to come out? For example, I posted my Jill photos strategically when Final Fantasy 16 got released on PC. So I could be like, happy PC release day. Because when you post things at strategic times, the algorithm picks it up. Like, for example, if you are at PAX and it is PAX weekend and hashtag PAX Oz is trending everywhere, and you make a post that says hashtag PaxOz, it is going to perform well because the algorithm's got to pick it up. So you
yep.
need to choose what you're posting and when you're posting it very strategically because the algorithm's going to pick up kind of like trending topics.
Yeah. Wow. That's so so well done, and like congratulations on like having it so planned out. Like
Thank you. I'm insane.
that's that's a step above, and a lot of creators have like there's a lot to learn from that. Um, and it's really hard to get that message across, I guess. And it comes back to start with why. Why is
Yeah,
someone going to like this? What is in it for
exactly.
them? And it comes down to like the pillars or like the key things of content creation. It's like you're either trying to entertain someone, inform someone, or inspire someone.
Yeah,
I think it's educate, entertain, inspire. Those
something
three
like that.
pillars.
Yeah,
Yeah. And like when you're creating content, creating posts and stuff like that, and you're clearly doing this quite well and you're thinking about it, is where does it line up in that? And I see a lot of creators, myself included, when I first started, I was creating, you create content because you just do it and you like it and you think it's really cool.
yeah,
But like, that's, it's almost a little bit selfish in a way because
yeah.
you're not thinking about what the actual, the person on the other end's receiving. But I feel like once you start thinking a little bit more about what the person on the other end's
Well, you're
receiving,
not the one who's consuming your content, other people are. So
yeah,
it's not about how easily you can consume what you're posting, it's how other people are consuming it.
yeah, well, yeah, thinking, looking at things from the viewer's perspective, and when you start doing that, you'll actually start looking at how your content and how you can actually change your content to
Yeah.
be easier consumed. So,
Yeah.
like
Like
your
if
work
you're
in
in a
progress
slump,
videos.
yeah. If you're in a slump and you're like, what's going on? What am I doing wrong? Like I was in a while. And if you find a type of video or a type of content isn't performing well, then rethink that. Like I used to post like behind the scenes like photo shoot videos and they didn't really perform the best, and then I transformed to just doing more like work in progress videos and they performed really well. So especially when you're getting started with content creation or you're like changing kind of what you post, trial things out and see like what your audience enjoys, because obviously everyone's audience is going to be different. I imagine if I posted what you posted to my audience, it wouldn't perform well because they're like, what is this? Where are the cosplays? Where's Final Fantasy?
Exactly.
I don't
It's
like
like
this.
I don't know. I don't care about what content creators helps them do better. Like,
Yeah, I don't care. I just want to see her do her silly little dance. That's what I want to see.
yep.
But yeah,
Well, I guess that's the importance of having different places for those different conversations too. So, like, you've got
yeah.
your Instagram account, which
Oh my gosh,
is
diversify your content. I cannot say that enough. Please
yeah,
diversify your content. It's you're showing. Sorry to speak over you. I'm so sorry.
yeah, no, it's fine.
Um, so in having obviously everything comes. Okay, I'm going to use a quote from my good friend Cassie Dakota, who's an incredible creator. You should follow them. They've done everything from gaming to lifestyle to travel, and they've excelled in everything. They're amazing. They're in Japan right now. Miss you. They said something a couple years ago, and it blew my mind. It stuck with me ever since, which is you are your niche. So people
You are
think
your
like
niche.
I'm in the gaming niche, I'm in the cosplay niche, and they look at gaming creators and the cosplay creators like, what are they doing? And it's like, no, people are following you as a person, and you might do gaming, you might do cosplay, you might do art, you might do a bunch of things. You just create something that's centered around yourself and your personality. Your content should not look like another person's. If it does, it's not going to perform well because that person
Yeah.
already exists. Like if I just copied everything you did, like all the ways you like filmed all your content and the way you took all your photos and the way you posted them, I will not perform well because you already exist.
Mm.
And by having different platforms where it's still you, but you might do show slightly different content on, you're showing different parts of yourself to your audience. I think if you just post basically like everything exactly the same on all platforms, it's not going to perform well because you're just kind of like, I try not to post too much, like to repost, like for example, there's stuff that I share both to TikTok and Instagram, but like the reels I try to have mostly different
Yep.
because that way it also gives incentive for one person to follow you on multiple platforms. So someone follows your Instagram and they go to another platform and see that you have it and see that it looks exactly the same. Why would they follow you?
Yeah. Yep.
They have nothing to gain
Yeah. They might as well just keep following you on the one
on the
platform.
one platform. Yeah, by
Yeah.
offering different kind of parts of yourself and different interests across different platforms and like ways to interact with you and interact with your content, they're way more likely to follow you across multiple platforms.
Yeah, I love that. I really do. So you're just to break that down in terms of your content. So your Instagram is more of your cosplay, more of your refined cosplay content.
Yeah,
Your TikTok is
cosplay and
silly,
conventions.
yeah, and your TikTok is more silly, kind of just a bit of having fun, and that kind of suits the platform too. And I
Yeah,
guess there's a bit of sense in here, like it's like each platform's consumers are also used to that type of
and I
content
also
too.
I do a lot of like talky stuff on there.
Yep.
So I'll talk about stuff, like I'll talk about cosplay and be like, hey, like here's some like advice, or if you
Well,
have
'cause you can't really
questions.
reels aren't that long, are they? Like, so you can't
Um,
really do talky stuff in
Reels
reels.
can be up to 1.5 minutes.
Yeah,
TikTok can be up to 10 minutes now. They've
yeah,
they've increased it. So yeah, I do more like talky stuff
yeah.
and connecting to people.
And
Um,
then your Twitter or X is all just like kind of like almost professional content stuff because that's where all the engagement.
professionally silly. So yeah, Twitter is just kind of like an update space.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I treat Twitter in a similar way I treat Discord. Like, hey, here's my stream schedule. Here's the events I'm going to be at. I'm starting stream now. That kind of stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, Twitter is just kind of like an announcement format. Also, just like posting and sharing silly little things, and then like a really good network opportunity just for me to kind of like connect with businesses and connect with people that like work for game developers that I
Yeah.
love.
So how do you find any like do you find any of your followers in any of these platforms? Do they filter back into Twitch at all?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I have people come in all the time that said, "Oh my gosh, I've been following your cosplay for years. I didn't know you streamed."
Well, there you go. Well, okay, just to challenge that whole
Yeah.
they've been following you for years
Yeah,
and
I
they
don't know how
didn't
because
know
I
your
post
stream.
going live on Twitch like every single time that I do. So I don't know how, but I have no, they must have missed those stories because every time I go live on Twitch, I post on. I tried with TikTok. TikTok didn't really have any pull, so I ignore that. But
Yeah.
I
Well, I think because
post.
everyone did it. There
Yeah,
was
I
that
post
window where
on.
everyone was doing the
Who was doing the
TikTok go
going live?
lives.
I post on Instagram, Twitter, and Discord the second I go live,
Yep.
so that
Okay. And
people
you
do
find
flow
that
in.
helps pull people over?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll have people follow me on Twitter, and then a couple of days later, they're in my streams.
Okay, so there is definitely merit to doing that. That's
There's
very
so much cross pollination
yeah
that goes on. Like my social media accounts do not exist as like separate entities. Like they're all like this big like connected like massive monster of like one person, which is me. um and like people understand the whole insanity that is me by following all of them, because again they have different things to offer, so there is an incentive to follow all of them.
I really like. I think that's a very important thing because I think so many of us, and myself included, I've always just like posted the same thing across all of them, and it
It's a
makes sense.
work. It's work, so that's fair. I get it.
Oh well, just on a like even for my own content, I just didn't think about viewing it in that perspective. So
Yeah.
that's really insightful. That's some good advice there. It's interesting.
Yay.
Yeah. Um, I'm kind of a bit lost for words now.
That's um
No,
I'm glad.
that's actually really good. So coming back to cosplay,
Yeah.
what is the first like? What is the? How does one get into it? Like,
Okay, I get this question all the time, and people are like, "I want to get into cosplay, but like, I don't know how to sew, and I'm so scared." Cosplay can be literally so simple. Cosplay can be like grabbing items out of your wardrobe that like look like a character, or maybe like you already as a person. Like people always tell you, like, "Oh my gosh, you look so much like this character," and just wearing their colors and just being
yeah,
like, "This is what we call a closet cosplay," which is where like you don't buy anything, you don't make anything, you just use stuff you already have at home
yeah.
and you put it on and you're like, cool, like I am this character.
Cosplaying.
So
I get
exactly.
Ewan
Exactly.
McGregor a lot. So I've like
That's the thing, just put on like a big like cloak sort of thing
yep.
and then you're good to go. I'm sure you have a
Basically
keyblade
everyone.
behind you. You for sure have a lightsaber. I'll bet money on the fact.
Unfortunately not.
Nah, I think you're
I
lying.
want. I know. I don't. I
You
would
should
love
get
one.
one.
I want one. When I can afford one, I'll get one. But I have a mortgage and a child. So.
That's oh yeah, that's a lot. Okay. um but yeah, you start with closet cosplaying and then, you can, I mean, a lot of people get a lot of people see cosplay as like people like making all of their costumes, and like that's not true. There's so many cosplayers who don't make any of their costumes, and
Yeah.
just like the art of like wearing a character and like encompassing their personality and doing the makeup and doing the photo shoots and like all types of cosplay are fine. It's just like what you want to do. Like I don't make all of my costumes, I don't have time to. I did recently Ishtola from Final Fantasy 14 Online, critically acclaimed MMORPG, started free trial. I would sign up today. Um,
Not sponsored.
I wish. Oh my gosh, if I was, my dream. Um, but yeah, I did Ishtola and I just bought the costume because I was like, I didn't have time to make this. So I'm kind of 50-50 in how much I make and how much I buy. And I think either is fine. It's just whatever you want to do. Just choose a character that you really like that you love. I think the more passionate you are about the character, the more motivated you are to do the costume.
Yeah.
All the characters I cosplay are characters that I like absolutely adore. And so I'm like, I have no fatigue and I'm motivated the entire time, whether I'm like ordering the costume or making the costume, that I'm like, I love this character so much. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to be them. Like, this means so much to me.
Yeah. I've often thought about getting into cosplay, and what would the things that deter me is
Yeah, okay.
the financial side of it, just
Yeah,
as I said before, but
so true.
also um, I feel like I'm a bit stuck for characters. So personally, like
Okay.
if I want to do cosplay, I feel like I want need to do a cosplay that suits me and my body type. I
Yeah.
can't see myself doing something that's not in my body type,
Yeah,
and so
that's
that's
fair.
quite. When I look at characters, there's not actually that many, despite you know, like there being lots of male characters in video games. There's not many that suit me. So like I can do like Ewan McGregor Star Wars Obi-Wan, but or like Arthur Morgan could pull him off. I don't
Okay, I'm
like
gonna
that's
stop
where I'm
you
kind
right
of
there. I'm gonna
sure.
stop you right there because this is a big thing in cosplay. Um, you do not need to have the same body as a character. You do not need to have the same skin color as a character, the same eye color, the same hair color. It doesn't matter. You can embody like you don't need to look like a character to cosplay them. Most of the characters I cosplay are tall. I'm 4'11". Okay, I am not passing as any of these characters that I cosplay. So don't think that like what character visually looks like me. Like some people use that for inspiration if they're told, like you said, you were told you look like Ewan McGregor. I'm like, that would be a fun one to do. But there's another character, maybe Cloud in a dress. Maybe this can be your first costume. Very beautiful. Um,
I don't have to shave my
then
beard.
do it. I People are often deterred, being like, oh, like,
Yeah,
but I look nothing like this character. I'm like, who cares? Like characters are recognizable by like the colors they wear, by their hair color, by their personality. Like, it has nothing to do with what you physically look like. So
Okay.
yeah, to
Well,
you and anyone watching, yeah.
I think that's like good and encouraging for anyone that wants to get into it. I think for me, it's more of a personal
Oh, and
preference.
that's so fair.
Yeah,
Another thing is obviously only do things like you're comfortable with. Like,
yeah,
there's certain like characters and designs that like I'd never wear because I'm just like, oh, like I personally don't like that clothing
yeah.
on me, and that's totally fine. So yeah, that's another big point is you want to make sure that you are physically comfortable in something that you are putting on your body and wearing out in public.
Well, exactly right. And yeah, so that's the one thing that kind of holds me back. But I also just
Yeah,
like I know I feel like really like getting involved in the characters, but I
it's
don't know,
so
it's
much
just that's a
fun. It's so
personal
silly,
preference.
and the thing is, like, you will go out in a costume of a character, and people come up to you, and they will call you by that character's name. They'll be like, "Oh my god, Obi-Wan," and you'll be like, "Yes, that's me. Oh my god, thank you so much for recognizing
Hello
me."
there.
Like, it's yeah, you have, like, like, honestly, like, fandom culture in cosplay is, like, on another level. Like, you've experienced it through gaming. Cosplay is insane. Like, people are
Yeah.
so into it, and it's so cool. Like, I have full rant conversations with absolute strangers because they're cosplaying a character I really like, and I'll sit there talking to someone I do not know for, like, half an hour, and then I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, okay, thank you, have a good day, bye." Run away. It's awesome. It's like a cool, like, signifier. Like, if I see anyone in, like, a Final Fantasy cosplay, I'll run up to them and I'll be like, "Oh my god, I love Cloud." And then I realize that that is my friend. I just didn't recognize them in their cosplay, which has
And
happened to
they'll
me.
feel like she was talking to me as if I didn't even
I
like
have
we weren't
not
friends for the last
recognized
10 years.
Yeah, I've not recognized people in cosplay, which is a good thing. It means you did the character really well.
Yeah.
It's a bit awkward sometimes when they're like, "Louise, it's me." I'm like, "Oh, oh, good job."
Oh. That's funny. Oh wow. Yeah. Well, I've been thinking about doing the Obi-Wan. I would love to get a lightsaber.
So comfy
Um,
as well because you just get to wear,
robes.
like, robes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Some cosplays are not comfortable, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Some of them I see people go to and they do not look comfortable. Like especially
No,
like with some of the way they are cut and where they are going. It's like how is that comfortable?
it's not.
Like
That's
they
the
spend the whole
answer.
day. Spend the whole day. Like it's yeah, like wearing some people wearing heels all day. Like
I've
that's
done that.
yeah,
You don't
full on.
okay, so when you're at conventions, you kind of have a bit of, like, adrenaline going through you.
Yeah.
So, I'll be honest, you don't feel it. You go home and you take your shoes off, and it feels like someone's shot you in the feet. And you're like, "Where did this pain come from?" Like, "What do you mean?" So, like, yeah, that's the only reason people can get through conventions in really, like, not comfortable costumes and shoes is because the adrenaline just, like, blocks most of it out, at least for me.
Okay, very interesting. So do you um use your cosplay much in your streams?
Sometimes, less now because I fit and I'm tired and I work a full-time job now. So I don't really feel like getting into cosplay after work.
Fair enough.
But I will like surprise my community with like cosplay streams. Like when Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out, I cosplayed Cowgirl Tifa for release.
Yep.
That is not a comfortable cosplay. I wore that for 12 hours and I only stopped streaming because it was past midnight and I'm like, I have to go to bed. But as soon as I wake up, I will be back live again playing this game because I love it so much. So yeah, I do incorporate a little bit into my stream, but less now just because I'm
It's a lot.
tired.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
fair
stream
enough.
in my pajamas most times, to be so honest with you. They're lucky if they get a non pajama shirt, but most of the time I'm in my pajamas and then I just after stream I roll into bed afterwards.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Oh, that's good. Oh wow. Well, that's yeah. You got a lot of insight there. I'm quite
Yay.
impressive. So, are there any communities that are good to get involved with in Australia? I guess to start off with,
ANZ creators.
or more specific to cosplay.
um, it's hard because the cosplay community is not really super organized. We all just follow each other on Instagram. That's
Yep.
really all it is. Like, there's like the Melbourne cosplay community like Facebook group, but like no one really uses that much anymore because a lot of people don't really use Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
There might be some Discord accounts around here and there, but most of it is us just like collectively following each other on social media and like keeping in touch with each other like that
Yep.
way. And that's
That
how
way.
I've made a lot of my friends in the cosplay community is like I I originally I didn't meet people at conventions. I met people on Instagram and then I saw them at conventions and then that's how I kind of like worked my way through and now I'm annoyingly talking to everyone whether they like it or not.
Well, maybe that's something worth looking into is starting up your own version of teammate. 'Cause teammates, I keep doing that. ANZ creators
For
for
cosplay, oh my god,
cosplays. I
we
mean,
need it.
if it's something you need, I mean, Discord is definitely a way to handle
Yeah,
it.
yeah. There's not really a lot of organization, I guess, with us. But yeah, even ANZ creators is really new. A lot of it just relies on us just like being in touch with each other and keeping us
Yeah,
updated when like things are going on, when there's like opportunities around. But I'm really lucky that like, my friends in both the streaming and cosplay community, we really lift each other up and we like tell each other when there are opportunities, like, hey, you should sign up for this. Like,
yep.
remember, deadlines for this competition close. This cosplay competition closes in a few days. Make sure you get your submissions in. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. So, how far ahead do you plan your content?
a week. So
A week.
either Sundays or Mondays, depending on how busy I am on the weekend.
Yeah.
I will plan my content a week in advance. So that includes what nights I'm streaming, any brand work I have to either film or edit or post or all of them, any
Yep.
cosplay stuff I need to make. Like I'll like plan my cosplay in advance. Like, okay, by this date I need to have it complete. So I want to have the skirt bun done by this date. I want the wig styled by this date. So any work I need to do there. And then all my posts on socials, so Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's how I keep my content consistent. So I like to post on Instagram every 2 to 3 days, kind of mixing up reels and photo posts. So like, some for the people that follow
So
me and some for
you don't do a daily post?
no, no,
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't.
Interesting.
I would bleed out content very, very quickly and run out. So
Yeah. Fair enough.
I also tackle content in a way that like I work 5 days a week and there's only so much I could make.
Yeah.
I think if I posted every day, I would run out very quickly. I think having like a 2 to 3 day grace period means that I'm still able to post very regularly. Whilst like post very regularly and like have my posts still be like up to date.
Yep.
And then yeah, TikTok is nearly every day, and then Twitter. I mean, I sometimes plan Twitter posts if I have like announcements, but it's mostly just like interacting with stuff, like sharing a cool fan art I made, or like uplifting like an opportunity that like I found that like, hey, you should apply for this thing.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess this can tie into the next question, and this is something that has come up about you specifically: is
Okay, I'm in
how that you're
trouble.
so good at same day posting at conventions and stuff. So can you share your secrets?
Okay, so for context, I've been doing convention vlogs for about 2.5 years. Um, where I'll post like day one of the Game Expo, like day two of PAX. They're kind of like short, speedy ones. I post them on Instagram and TikTok. They only go for like about a minute and a half, and it's just like short clips of the convention with me talking over it. Like, oh hey, I went to the artist alley, and then I did this, and then I watched this panel, that kind of stuff. Um, when I go to a convention, I will have that vlog posted before I go to bed,
Oh, so
and I'll
you're
tell.
in bed after the convention
I'm no,
working on
I'm
it.
in my car after the convention before I leave, filming the
Yeah. Right.
voiceover, I post, and then I drive home. Okay.
Uh,
So okay, I'll tell you how I do it, and then I'll tell you
yep.
why I do it.
Right.
Okay, how I do it. Okay, one. Before you go to a convention, especially if there is a creator, like official creator, but if you're not, like you should it's an opportunity to make content.
Well,
You
we've
should
said this before: is if you're going to a convention and you're a content creator, make content
yes,
because next
you
time
should
you might
always
get
be.
invited to go as a creator.
Yeah, I went to Smash and I wasn't a creator and I still made content for them. So it
Yeah.
just means when I apply for a creator pass next year, I'll be like, look what I did last year. Maybe I'll do it again.
Exactly. Yep.
um so Yeah, you need to have a content plan in advance, and that involves a schedule for the day. So you need to know exactly like what you're going to see, because guess what? That's your vlog. That's what you're covering. And you want to make sure you're looking at everything that you're interested in, but also things that you would really want to showcase as well, that kind of like showcase the event. So like what does the
Yeah,
event have on for offer? And what should people that, because essentially a vlog is, I mean, it's a fun way for people to like see through like your day, but it's marketing material, let's be honest with each other.
yeah, yep, yep.
It's the convention, getting really cool free advertising of the cool things that like someone has done at their convention. So you need to have, before you step foot in the convention, you need a schedule for the day and exactly what you're doing. um I use CapCut on my
Okay,
phone,
yep,
and I have preloaded. So I have background music in all of my vlogs just because it fills the space really nicely. Um, I have all of the music preloaded. I also have the captions mostly pre-written, not in a fake way, but in a way that like it says day one of blank, and then all of the hashtags, and like see you tomorrow for day two, and then that way all I have to do for the caption is just type in what I did and like what I felt and my experiences and all of that, and then most of the captions already done
and is that
throughout
what?
the.
So that's the caption, and then obviously you kind of customize it based on what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So I can pre-fill things like the hashtags I'm using and like
Yep.
the title and stuff, like that's fine. But obviously before I go to post it, I'll go and actually write like, okay, like here's what I did and here's what I felt about it. Now for the vlog, I don't film long clips. My clips are anywhere from like 2 seconds to 10 seconds. Like I'm not sitting there for 5 minutes filming the same thing. Like I really
Yeah.
just want, like, at least mine, it's different for YouTubers. I just want a quick insight into like what this looks like what does this booth look like? What does this free play area look like? I just want a few seconds. So all the clips on my phone are very, very short. And then when I go to edit them together, and again, I'm sitting in my car after a convention, I've got my phone out, the audio's preloaded, I have all the clips, I load all the clips, and as I'm shortening them, I'm talking over the clips as to what I might say. So I'll be
Yep.
like, welcome to day one of the Game Expo, and I make sure that the clips are long enough for me to cover that.
Yep.
So as I'm editing the clips down, I'm also starting to do my voiceover. So by the time I edit all the clips, I know everything I'm going to say. I also know that it fits to how long the clips are.
Yep.
And then I record my voiceover. CapCut has an auto captions feature. I just
Yep.
edit those, make sure they're good, and then I post. Is it a lot of effort? Yeah. Yes, it is. Why, yes, it is. Why do I do it? Um, Two reasons, one for me and one for them. Okay, reason for me. We spoke about trending hashtags and trending things in algorithms um, during a convention, and like I'd say like a bit before and a bit after is like the optimal time to post about a convention, unless there's
Yep.
announcements. Obviously when like PAX announces their dates and announces stuff, that's also an optimal time, but for the
Yeah.
convention itself, a bit before, a bit after is the optimal time to post about it. So if you're posting about PAX during PAX, the
You'll get the most
algorithm's going to
exposure.
pick it up. You're going to
Yep.
get the most exposure. Your reach is going to be awesome. Um, Not to discourage people from posting vlogs whenever. Like, obviously, not everyone is insane like me and sits in their car and just has been doing this for years
Well,
and
I
can cut
mean,
down really quick.
if they want to get the reach and exposure,
It
then
is
they
it is
might
really
need to be
helpful. I
insane
will
by
I will
like
tell you.
insane
I
like
will
me.
tell you. Um, and then so that's a selfish reason for me,
Yeah.
is like it grows my following every
Yep.
time I post them.
Well,
Um,
that's the primary kind of goal anyway. Like
but the
point of
second
it.
goal that's also very important, ticket sales. So people will be like Saturday looking at their phone, there's a Friday night vlog from PAX, they'll look at it and go, oh, okay, I might head to PAX today or tomorrow, there's still tickets available. When you post about a convention during a convention, for the next day or days, it'll drive ticket sales, because people that are considering going to a convention will usually look up what's going on. And if you have a video showcasing the entire first day of the convention, of
Yep.
if you're having fun, if of you are potentially having a good time, they're going to look at that and be like, oh, this looks really fun, I'm going to go to the convention tomorrow. So it's also good for the convention in the moment. And that's like on the weekend. But then long term, when people are looking up the convention to see what it's like, that'll still get picked up in algorithms and in searches of like, oh, so this is what last year's TGX looked like. Okay, this looks like a lot of fun. I'm probably going to go to this year's one. Then I want to see what they have on this year.
Yeah, that's really really good. That's I feel like that's some fantastic advice. I'm going to attempt it myself.
Yes! Even if
Will
you
I
don't
be
have
able
to
to do
do
it?
it, you don't have to do a full vlog, but even just like story posts,
Yeah.
photo
Well, I've
posts,
done so
creative
for
posts.
TGX and DreamHack. I did vlog posts, but
Yeah,
I didn't post them until I got home and got it onto my computer to edit. So I'm
yeah.
going to get CapCut. I'm going to give it a crack.
CapCut
But
is just like a free app.
yeah,
It's very user friendly. It's very easy to use.
because I've to your point, I try not to record too longer clips for
You don't
videos.
need it unless you're doing a YouTube video. You might need a bit longer clips, but like for
Yeah,
Instagram and
to give yourself
TikTok,
a bit more B-roll. But
Instagram, you're
otherwise, like,
limited to a minute and a half. So like
yeah,
you
you don't
can't
need
if
it.
if you
So,
want to.
but you don't want to like have to scroll through like 10 minutes of B-roll for like a
No one wants that.
10
Yeah.
second clip.
Hmm.
Like it's just a waste. But so that's
Get
really
what
good.
you
So
need.
get and like what you said about creating a schedule, um, and like know where you need to go and what you need to get.
And
It
scheduling
really
breaks.
important.
Scheduling breaks. Oh my god, scheduling breaks. I cannot say that louder enough.
Okay, schedule breaks.
Please, especially yeah.
That's
With
some
the
really
creator
good
circuit,
advice.
you have to you please scheduling break. I have it in. I have my breaks in. That like I'm doing nothing here. I'm usually probably just going to go sit outside and disassociate for 2 hours, and then I'll just go back inside and film some stuff.
Well, that's really good. I think that is some fantastic and some solid advice there, and that's going to help a lot of people out. I think it's really good.
And a convention's
Uh,
going to be really packed, but you will burn out, and you probably won't make it to the second day if you don't. Make sure you rest at least a little bit in between, just to sit down and be quiet and be silent.
all right, so this is going to be a little bit more of a gritty question,
Oh,
and this is
okay.
just because I saw a post you did from based on your shoot that you did in Tasmania.
Yeah.
So how have you monetized your content? So I saw that you
Oh,
sell
yeah. Okay, cool, cool. Yes, yes,
photos.
yes. Okay. Couple of things. Twitch is really the biggest one for me. Um, so that's through subs, donors, and bits. Um, Unfortunately, we don't have any creator programs like the TikTok creator program. I know Instagram is a creator program, and it's only available to the US. So very boo. As of recently, I've done my first pop up merch store, and that's been going pretty well so far. So as a cosplayer, you can sell cosplay prints, you can sell cosplay stickers. I've also done pins as well, so something a little bit extra. I do want to say, and I mean this with so much love in my heart, if you're doing merch, you need to think about it strategically. Do not I don't put don't you need sorry. Okay. Viewer perspective, why would they buy your piece of merch? If it's just me making a shirt with my name on it, I don't think that's going to sell. I'm going to be so honest with you. My followers are going to lie and say, "I'd buy it." No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. But
I
if you
wouldn't
make
even buy
I
it.
wouldn't buy it. If
Exactly.
you're going to sell merch, you want to make sure it's something that they'd actually want to buy. So, for example, people love pins. So I made really cool custom pins, and people really
Yep.
liked them. Cosplay prints, a cool picture of cool costume. People love that. Stickers, cheap.
Mm.
People love stickers. You want to think if you're branching out into merch as a form of avenue, because you don't want to spend all this time like organizing a shop, and spending all this money investing in it, not to get people to buy stuff. You have to think of like, why would they buy this piece of merchandise? Like
Yeah.
if for some people it'll be enough, like, oh, it just has their name on it and I just want to support them. For most potential buyers, it's not going to be enough. If anything, the best piece of merch can be merch that appeals to people that don't know you. That's
Yeah.
like the ideal piece of merchandise, because it means you're not just relying on your follower base, you're actually expanding outside of that to people that don't actually care about you but think this is something really cool to own.
Yep. Yeah, that's some solid advice. Yeah, and it comes back down to the same what we were saying earlier about content, and creating content for the audience. Like think about it from the audience's perspective,
Yeah.
like the potential customer. Like why would they buy it?
Yeah.
And you see it like people would put their name on shirts and stuff.
which is fine, and I get it, and some people will purchase that. But you're gonna have so much more success with merch if you create something that like isn't just something that's just like branded. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like that people will be like, oh, like that's a cool shit. Like there's a streamer, love him very much. He's also a YouTuber, Eddie Burback. Eddie Burback's merch does not have his name on it.
yeah,
He made this like this is years ago. He made this pink long sleeve and it said "Yikes" on it in all these silly fun colors. I'm like, that's such a silly shirt. I'm gonna buy it. Like that is nothing. That's
yeah.
like
It makes sense.
people that know him can recognize it, but like that on its own works as an item to purchase outside of being I mean, I also bought it because I wanted supporting, but I was like, I wouldn't have purchased it if it just had his name on it. It
Yeah,
wouldn't be appealing to
it
me.
makes a lot of sense. I've seen a few creators do that really well, like just like custom graphics or
Yeah.
custom illustrations and stuff like that, and still like within brand or with like the name on it. But
Yeah.
like, it's if you're
Appeals to
not
their
someone,
audience.
I guess it's like if you when you're thinking about the merchandise, if you're trying to make the merchandise for someone who doesn't know you, so that would they would wear it. So
Yeah.
if they saw that and they go, "Oh, I'd love to buy that," and
That's a
then they're
cool
wearing it, and
shirt.
someone goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, you like this person?"
Yeah.
Like, and they go, "Oh, I just thought the shirt looked cool." Like that's what you want to go for. Like
Hmm.
they don't even know who it is. I think I've done that before.
Yeah.
I can't remember the content what it was, but yeah,
And then they might find you through that, through seeing
yeah.
like, oh, I really like this cool pin design.
Oh, I
Oh, who
have
is
done
it
that.
related to? Yeah.
I did that for a band, a metal band. So I was
That's
at
awesome.
Unify a couple of years ago, and I saw this jumper for Banks Arcade, and it was white with like red on it, and so I thought that was really cool. I bought it, started wearing it, and then I actually listened to the band and liked the band. So I'd never actually heard of them before buying that jumper. So to your point, make it to suit the. Don't make it. You got to make it cool. Make it that
Yeah.
someone would wear it.
Because I just
Cool.
don't want people putting all this like effort and time and money into merchandise endeavors and then not getting much out of it.
Yeah.
Because I think, especially because most creators do not do content creation full time. Most of them do have a job outside of them that supplements them having time to do this job. Um,
Mm.
so you really want to be like smart with your time and make sure you're not wasting it.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. All right. So, what are your top 5 tips for content creators in general?
Okay. Um,
I should have given you some homework for this. I'm sorry.
no. I've got it. Be nice to people. Will get you so far. People talk in the industry. Brands talk to each other. Creators talk to each other. You will miss out on opportunities if you are not a nice person. So if you're being a
Yep.
dick to people, if you're bad, if you're horrible to work with, you will be like blackballed, blacklisted in a way, but
Black
like
labeled, blacklisted. No, not black
yeah,
labeled, blacklisted.
like you'll still be able to be a creator and do stuff, but like you're not gonna get opportunities. So step one, be nice, be nice, please. Um,
Yeah.
Step two, you need to be regularly look at your content from an outside perspective. So like check your feeds, check your VODs, check your clips. Make sure if someone's checking your page for the first time, they have an incentive to follow you, and also check that the content that you're putting out is like what you want. Like I previously had looked at my Instagram feed and be like, this looks boring. Like this looks boring. I need to fix this. Like I look into this all together. Like this is not super appealing, and so I changed it up. So yeah, be nice. Check your feed from an outside perspective. Check your stats. For streamers, you can use apps like Twitch Tracker that you can
Okay.
actually look at your game categories and see what your average viewership on each of them is. So if you're doing like push to partners, or if you're like you're kind of want to get your numbers up because you want to work with a certain brand, you're gonna want to get a certain brand code. You need to be looking at those statistics. And then for other applications, the insights is just built into the application. So Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you can look at your reach and your engagement. You can look at your demographic and see exactly who you're talking to. Obviously, if you have a huge Australian fan base, advertising Australian conventions works really well.
Yep.
That's number three. Number four, number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. Number 4. Okay. Oh, this is a big one. This works for everything. I'm so sorry.
That was so random.
I'm so sorry. Okay. This works for like every social media. But don't do things just because it's popular, because you'll be so bored. You will be so bored. You will not have a good time. I can see right through creators that are doing something that they don't enjoy, whether they're like playing a game that they don't like, or they're cosplaying a
And,
character they could not give
and
a two shits
everyone can
about.
see it too.
Yeah,
And it like especially on Twitch, if you've got someone who's playing Fortnite and they just don't, they're not liking it, the audience can see it, and then they're not going to stay hang around.
it's not fun. And like it shows a lot of lack of passion, even though you probably do have passion for like different types of content. So you need to really be enjoying what you do and not just doing something because like, oh, this person did this thing and they did really well with it, so I'm just going to copy their content
Yep.
verbatim. Like talking about like passion in content, like I'm so sorry to keep shouting at people, I'm so annoying. You can cut this out if you want to. But like Nictacular's tech reviews have so much passion and silliness built into it. I can't just copy his tech reviews. Like it's literally not going to be the same. Like stupid. So yeah, don't do stuff just because you see other people doing it, it looks really successful or it's popular. Do stuff because you're like, I'm genuinely interested in this. Like I have a passion for this, and this is just a format that I can explore this passion. Fifth one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, I say this a lot. Okay. You need to put yourself out there for every single opportunity, even if you think I haven't got a high enough average view count, I haven't got enough followers, because you'd be so surprised how many times you get opportunities you don't think you'll get. Most of the opportunities I apply for, I don't like, not in like a self deprecative way, but I'm not
Yeah.
confident that I'm going to get accepted. You would be so surprised. You would be so surprised how, if you fit, like, I'm going to give an example. Okay, I'm going to talk about Final Fantasy again. Sorry. Final
Right.
Fantasy 7 Rebirth was coming out, and there was what's the site where the game codes are posted on?
Look it
No, there's
or
another one.
Rainmaker.
Rainmaker. They
Yep.
posted codes on Rainmaker, but it had like a 50 to 60 CCV for Twitch, and at the time I didn't have that. So I just reached out to the marketing team at Bandai Namco because they deal with all the distribution at Square Enix. And I was like, hey, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. Here are my Final Fantasy cosplays. I stream your games. I'm very passionate about it. I'm looking to be involved in promotion. And they're like, yep, cool. We love it. And they gave me a
There
game
you go.
code. And I did
Yep.
not have the required viewership on Rainmaker, but because I personally fit, like, I not in okay, I don't want to sound cocky at all, but like people know me for loving Final Fantasy, so like
Yeah.
I'm like the ideal person to promote it because like I had already pre-ordered the deluxe edition. I was playing it anyway. I just wanted to be involved in some official promotion. So yeah, never be like, oh, I don't have a high enough follower count. Of you can also, by the way, follower count, it's all about engagement, baby. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
tell you that. All right, someone might have a really high follower count and the engagement might be like not the best. So
Follower accounts
don't,
are just
yeah,
a vanity number.
yeah. Nowadays, brands are looking at engagement. So if you have a really highly engaged community, even if you have like 500 followers, like you're probably going to be a really, really good fit for that brand or for that game company. So yeah, always apply for everything. The worst thing you can do is get knocked back, but if you don't apply and you could have get it, then you lost a really, really cool
Yeah.
opportunity.
You what is the saying? You miss every oh, I can't remember the saying. But if you don't put in, you miss it. Like you
Yeah.
miss it.
So I'm talking
It's
about
very on the edge
like
of my mind.
convention creator opportunities. I'm talking about brand creator programs, um, anything that's ever posted online, like looking for people for my master list. Um,
Yep.
and also just the opportunity, like getting in touch with people. Like I'm so annoying in emails, and 99.99% of the time, I don't get a response. But I got a response for a Final Fantasy code. So you know what? It was worth it. It was so worth
Yeah. It paid for itself.
it.
well, I mean, yeah, you got it. That's awesome. All right. So because we're on a learning journey,
Okay.
what is something that you want to learn more about yourself?
But me?
Hmm.
Um, that's a really good question. It's gonna take me a second.
I love these questions.
Can you give an example of like an answer? I have no idea how
An
I'd answer that.
example.
What do you
Oh,
mean,
okay.
like?
Have a internal, like, think about yourself and what you do. What do you want to learn more about?
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, so I'm on for the past so I've been cosplaying for years, but I've been like really honing in on like bettering my craft for the past like I would say like year and a half. Um like I learned how to make chainmail for my Jill Warwick cosplay, which was like really hard, by the way. Chainmail is really
That's
hard to make. Really hard to
impressive.
make.
Yeah, there's a
Thank
reason
you.
they don't make it anymore.
Yeah, there's a reason people don't do it because it's so time consuming and it hurt my hands. Um but yeah, so I've been on like a journey with my crafting to get better at
Yeah.
it because like it's my art expression. So like I have a lot of fun with it. So I want to keep improving at crafting. So keep trying out like new skills, get better at my sewing because sewing is a never ending journey. Because sewing's really hard, by the way. Sewing's like the hardest thing you can do. It's not armor. It's not armor, and I will stand on this hill. Sewing's so hard and complicated, but so like so beautiful when you do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to really keep honing in on those skills. Hee hee.
Cool. All right, that's awesome. Well, it's been fantastic having you on tonight, and I'm glad that the camera behaves itself this
Can't
far
wait
in.
to see you in your Obi-Wan Kenobi cosplay.
Yeah, we'll see about that. One
Your
day.
winter
I
cosplay
was
because
thinking
it'll be
about it for
warm.
PAX. Yeah. But yes, it's been fantastic having you here, and you have a world of knowledge,
Thank
and
you.
it's like there's a lot to pick apart from here, and I'm
Thank you.
excited to share this with everybody when
Yeah,
it goes
and
live.
that's the thing that I think benefits yourself and other people as a creator is like not to gatekeep knowledge. Like I'm very transparent about anything. Like honestly, anyone can ask me about any single opportunity I've gotten. I will literally give you like a step by step process of how I got it. Because like
Yeah,
yeah, just share the wealth of knowledge with each other, and then like we all grow as creators. So
well, that's what the creator dashboard is all about, sharing that knowledge.
yeah.
'Cause I know. So part of the reason why I started this is that I know people want to help, but being
Yeah.
a creator means that you don't have the time to really like do it.
No.
No, not really. But I like helping people, and so you know
Yeah.
what? I'm going to do it. So
Yeah.
if you have gained any kind of knowledge from this interview, I would appreciate it if you give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and go and check out Owldamone. I've
You said it perfectly the
refrained.
first time. Everyone
Cool.
freaks out. It's Owldamone. You
Yeah,
said it
I've refrained from
perfectly.
saying it the entire night because I didn't want to get it wrong.
I don't care. You're fine.
Aldamone's channels on Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. If you're a big fan of cosplay, go check her out. Puts a
If
lot
you
of
like
effort
Final
in,
Fantasy,
and
please come talk to me about Final Fantasy. Thank you so much.
well, it's been fantastic, and we'll see you next time on the Creator Dashboard.
Bye.
Bye.